Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please find your seat. The show is about to begin. Good morning, loves. My name is Haley Comet, and welcome to Just a Magic Monday, Halloween edition, covering the week of October 31st to November 6th, breaking down astrology for your life, for real life, what the week's astrology is like and how you can co-create with it. So taking advantage of opportunities as well as navigating the cosmic challenges, because my love, it's eclipse season, there are plenty. You have just opened your eyes to a very karmic fated week of astrology, and it's deeper than meets the eye because we are in between eclipses, and when we're in between eclipses, that eclipse window is active. And I've chatted at length about this, but I do want to say that traditionally eclipses were times that it was considered that the gods or the universe would mess with our mortal lives, give us things and take things away. It was considered it was a time of timeline acceleration, fated changes that were meant to be, fated endings of things that needed to leave our world, shifts that have larger significance beyond just us, right? So I want you to know we are in between these eclipses. So if you thought this week would be a chance to just collect, rejuvenate energy after the Scorpio solar eclipse, we're still in that eclipsey energy, especially with the Sun and Mercury conjoining South Node. There is more than meets the eye, which is why I want you to navigate this week's astrology with a lot of mindfulness, with a lot of self-care, with your boundaries on point. We'll dial into it in a moment, but I want you to observe what comes up, because a lot of times if you are being eclipsed, that means these eclipses have been really shifting your world. There are major changes taking place, major beginnings, major endings. You'll know, right? Some of us, it's a little bit more of a more subtle influence, but there can be small things that happen around eclipses, which meaning will continue to snowball. Because truly the eclipse, what's happening right now, we may have more clarity around in 6 months' time, May 2023, during that round of eclipses. So just paying attention, journaling, witnessing, observing. Notice how I'm not saying getting involved. I'm not saying getting involved. I'm not saying try to play God. I'm not saying try to fix everything or control everything. I'm just saying be a witness, be an observer, almost as though you were at the circus watching a show. And I'm technically, this costume was for my Britney costume. If you haven't watched my little solar return video, how to celebrate your solar return, then how I celebrate my solar return, I had a Britney Spears birthday party this year, and this costume was from that. So I'm technically Britney, but I guess you could say I'm a ringleader. I would love to know what your costume is, if you dressed up. I think it's incredibly on brand that Halloween falls during Scorpio season and this year eclipse season. And while you're at it, let me know what you are sipping on. I'm out of my pumpkin creamer, unfortunately, so I have just made Americano with some brown sugar creamer, the oat creamer from Trader Joe's. So good. Would love to hear how you're starting your week this pivotal week. And without further ado, let's get into the vibe check of the week, which is when we liken the week's astrology to a real life situation so that we can begin to tune into what this week looks like, tastes like, feels like, smells like, astrologically speaking, right? Maybe not all of those senses, but we can begin to see how this might come to life within our worlds, right? Because that's what Magic Monday is about, how you can co-create and work with these astrological aspects, bringing the stars down to earth. So this week's vibe check feels like a bait and switch. Okay, I want you to think of when you purchased something and what it was that you got was not what was advertised. And all you wanted to do is scream. You want to demand your money back, but you just know in this situation, you just need to save your energy and you just need to let it go. You cannot obsess about that money that was spent. You just need to wipe your hands of it, walk away, let the chips fall where they may, as frustrating as that can be. And the reason this is this week's vibe check is because of these pesky Venus aspects. Venus opposite Uranus is very much the energy around, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I bought. You are not the person that you were when we started dating. It's a deviation. It's something unexpected, right? So you can find, it occurs during the weekend. So you can find within your love relationship, there's this energy around the person that you are used to and you live with all of a sudden wants to do something different, or they want a little bit more freedom. And you're like, And you're like, that wasn't on the boyfriend tag when I picked you up at the boyfriend store. Like, where is this coming from? What? And also when it comes to actual purchases that we make, it's this energy around, this is not what I signed up for. And like with the square to Saturn, it's this energy around, wow, it sucks. I didn't get the value that I thought here. I'm not feeling loved because my partner wants to go do their own thing for Sunday football or whatever. There's this energy around, this sucks, right? And with so much of the cosmos in Scorpio at this time, that means, traditionally speaking, I'm a traditional astrologer, this makes a lot of the cosmos answer to Mars. And Mars is now retrograde, my loves. So it's like, wow, we have so much in Scorpio, which is like, I need vengeance. I need to control this situation. Why is this person acting like this? I need to get to the bottom of it. I need to find out where they're acting like this. I need to go file a chargeback on my credit card because this is not what I signed up for. This is bogus. I need to obsess and process claim and put all this energy towards this. I need vengeance. I need control. You can feel that. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't pursue it, right? Like with Mars retrograde, we need to conserve our energy. We need to be mindful of what it is that we are putting our energy towards, right? Because we need it, right? Because you need it for other areas of your life. Let's say in the spirit of Halloween, you order a costume, right? And you are so excited, the pictures look great, and then it shows up and it's just like lame. And you're trying to get a refund, they say no returns, and you are just going through all of these hoops trying to complain to all of these people. This isn't right, this is not real satin as advertised, or like whatever, until you've expended like 2 hours on the situation, filing a claim, messaging back and forth with the vendors. And it's almost like this energy where it's like, sometimes we just need to let it go. And I know that's frustrating. That's frustrating all of the time, but especially in Scorpio season, like they are not the spokespeople for letting it go. Trust me. But especially with the Sun and Mercury passing the South Node this week, this is something we just need to let go. We need to let go of control. We need to just be like, hey, I spent this $25 on this stupid costume. I just need to let it go. I already gave them $25 of my money, and now I gave them 2 hours of my time. Like, I deserve to put my energy towards other things. You know, like if you've heard the quote, like every morning you wake up and you have this amount of seconds. So you could think about it of a bank account where you have this much. Unfortunately, I don't know how many seconds we have in a day, or else I would say it here. But you wake up with that much in your bank account, your energetic bank account. And it's like, even if you're trying to right a situation, even if you're trying to get to the bottom of why your partner is behaving a little strangely, trying to get your $25 back, is it worth you giving your valuable time? Is it worth you giving your valuable investment of your energy? Not always. We might need to kind of let it go, and that's a bitter pill to swallow with Venus squaring Saturn. But your energy is needed elsewhere. Like with Mars retrograde, we simply have less of it to go around. So it's like you can continue to obsess and try to control and try to get your money back on this bait and switch, or try to control your partner around, why are you acting like this? Why are you being like this? Just do things how I want them done. Be how I want you to be. But there's this energy where you simply have to prioritize peace. You simply just need to let the cards fall where they may, take a loss when necessary, and walk away. Sometimes it's the most graceful thing that you can do, rather than, no matter how much you want to create a stink and make a whole scene, sometimes you simply just need to walk away. Not easy, my love. Did we say this eclipse stuff was going to be easy? We did not. And please excuse the brief interruption, but I do want to announce that my holiday offerings are now available. You can check them out below. So if you've wanted to get a loved one the gift of cosmic celestial knowledge this holiday season, I have a couple of options, which I'll briefly take you through. The first option, gift cards. So there are gift cards for birth chart readings, family, couples, transits. And what that'll entail is that they'll get the gift card, then they can go to my website and pick the time and date that aligns best for their schedule. Let's say you want your beloved to wake up with that reading ready to go on Christmas morning or during a day of Hanukkah. We can also do recorded readings. So the the only tricky thing about that is that I will need birth information, so birthday, birth time. But if you want someone to have that reading and you happen to have that information, that's another great option where they'll be able to really take a deep dive into their own birth chart or into transits, depending on the focus or the reading that you opt for. And some other offers. So if you haven't heard of my new program called Magic Monthly, which is a digital astrology planner that has detailed information, how to co-create with each aspect, what's ahead, options to customize it based on your charts, opportunities to set goals based on the transits afoot. So I have an exciting opportunity where you can get a Magic Monthly membership for a loved one for a year. So typically Magic Monthly is $10 per month or $9.99 per month. But during this special holiday offer, so just now, you can opt to get the entire year of 2023 for just $88. So that is a monthly digital astrology subscription, complete with a little printable calendar that you can have for the entire year for $88. So great for an astrology lover within your world. And another add-on to that, due to the amazing people within the cohort who gave me this idea, you can also opt to get it customized. So that's when I go in and I input for you where every aspect lands for you. So that's the customized tier, which is $22 per month. But for the special holiday rate, it'll be $188. These are the special bundled prices that I'm only able to offer on my website. So Magic Monthly is a subscription that I do both here on YouTube via memberships, as well as on my website for those who don't really use YouTube. And unfortunately, because of how YouTube membership works, I don't have like a ton of control over being able to offer like bundled discounts or anything of that nature. So I do want to say, if you've gotten in on YouTube, you can always jump over to the website version if you did want to take advantage of this bundle. No worries. I always get so happy. It literally makes my day whenever I see a little comment with a little gold star. If you're part of the membership, you get a little gold star. It just makes me so happy. So no worries, totally up to you. I just wanted to clarify that's only available over on the website, as well as the customized tier, because I need to have, your data for that. It's much easier for me to do that through my website rather than through YouTube. So that's not a tier available on YouTube. So just wanted to clarify that. If at any point the tiers and the bundles that are available on my website suit you better than the YouTube memberships, feel free to cancel and hop over there and reach out if any questions arise. And for everybody who opts for a recorded reading this holiday season, I will add on a free month of customized Magic Monthly. So you all have January already inputted for your houses how to navigate and lean into the month's astrology, and that'll be with everybody who orders a recorded reading from now, October 31st, to the end of December, as supplies last. I can only do so many. So lots of great options. You can find out more below, and wishing you all a celestial season's greetings. But now that we've dove into the thematics of the week, let's break it down to day by day. I do want to let you know that all times that I mention are Pacific, so make sure to adjust to your time zone if you are not on the west coast of the United States like I am. If you want to jump to a particular day, there are timestamps below. So without further ado, let's dive into your day-by-day forecast. Okay, my love, so happy Halloween. Let's talk about today's astrology. So the moon is in Capricorn and then it enters Aquarius around 8:43 a.m. PDT. Now prior to that, the Capricorn moon beefs with Pluto in the middle of the night, so you could wake up with sort of like an uneasy feeling, or maybe your dreams were sort of intense. But luckily, especially if you're dressing up for work or anything today, the Capricorn moon does sextile Jupiter in Pisces, which does add a little fantasy, a little otherworldliness, and that occurs at 8:14 a.m. PDT. So a little helpful if you need to put on something a little theatric, a little cinematic for your spooky Halloween day. And then at that point, the moon is void until it enters Aquarius at 8:43 a.m. And when the moon's in Aquarius, it tends to be a little detached. It is answering to Saturn. So again, it's like even though the moon shifted from Capricorn to Aquarius, it's still answering to Saturn, right? Now Saturn's direct, so we really don't want to mess with Saturn. But all I'm saying is when we have a Saturn moon, we sort of view things a bit realistically, and then the Aquarius moon squares Mercury in Scorpio, so there almost could be this energy where you're not feeling totally present, you're taking the worst out of situations, you're being hard on yourself, and I want you to exert some gentleness if the eclipses, the first round, were rather intense for you, because we do have our check-in point Monday evening, Tuesday morning, depending on where you are located. It is the first quarter moon. So it's the halfway point. It's a check-in from the Scorpio solar eclipse to the Taurus lunar eclipse. Now you can check out last week's Magic Monday if you want more context on the Scorpio solar eclipse, but the real question with the Scorpio solar eclipse is like, what are we ready to release, right? What are we ready to let go on? What is a battle that we cannot win with this bait and switch? What is a habit that is not bringing good into our life? What is a person that we need to quit, as addictive and up and down as it is? What is it that we just need to let go of? And are we doing that work, or are we clinging? Are we trying to force and control and perfect? With this halfway check-in, it's sort of asking you, are you allowing life to happen, or are you trying to control it? And I want to give some context, because when I say that I don't recommend doing a ritual during eclipses, I'm not saying it to be mean or to be a party pooper. And again, if you're getting a download from your spiritual support team, you are someone who is very, very well versed in your craft, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying being mindful, because from an astrological perspective, eclipses are way too volatile. It's like trying to build a fire with a lightning bolt. Maybe lightning will land where you want it to, but it could create a disaster, because eclipses are very karmic fated events. And this eclipse window that we're in, it's still active. It's still a portal. Like, it's considered traditionally that this was sort of a window where the gods, the universe, could reach us, so they could give us things and take things away. And maybe that's not terminology that necessarily resonates with you, but I want you to think of just, it's when timelines accelerate. It's when changes that are meant to be made come into our life, and changes that are meant to be released leave, right? So things can be quickening to really reveal to us where change, where fate is pushing us, right? And with this halfway check-in point, it's like, are you going gently into the good night? Or are you going kicking and screaming every place? Like, having consistent messaging, like, you need to release this relationship, you need to release this habit, you need to let this fight go, you need to forgive this person, just for yourself, right? Just for yourself, you need to, but you're just like, no, I'm not ready to. Like, the universe could just be kind of gently pushing you along, like, okay, are you ready? Are you ready? And with this Aquarius moon, you can be able to see that objective. That's what, the Aquarius moon is really good at, is being able to see the big picture and being like, I see why in the bigger scheme this might be something I need to let go of, even though I so wanted this to work out. Even though I so want vengeance on this situation, sometimes you just need to let things be as they are. Trust me, Saturn's direct, my love. We're in eclipses. Like, I don't want you to feel like you have to be the personal agent for revenge, or the personal agent to make sure that people get theirs. Karma's coming, okay? Saturn's direct, it's eclipses. Protect your peace, stay out of it. Just do the work as it's being kind of gently brought up to you to do. And just know with Monday, there just can be this kind of battle between the head and the heart. I want to, I can't, this isn't fair. It's okay for things to feel unclear. They'll make more sense with time. On October 31st from 2:23 a.m. is when the moon conjoins Pluto, and then it builds to sextile Jupiter. That is a nice little space of time to get a lot done, to try to like focus, handle this task and then this. I've always found, let me know if you agree, but it's sort of hard to focus on work when you're dressed up. I don't know if that's just me, but even at school or anything of that nature, if I was in a fun costume, like obviously I'm still at work, I still have meetings, but it was like a little bit more harder to concentrate. But I'll just say there is a nice opportunity that morning. On Tuesday, the 1st, the battle between the head and the heart continues, because the Aquarius moon squares Venus in Scorpio. Being mindful towards excess or anything of the nature, I've always said with moon Venus aspects, being mindful of around sweets, being mindful of being overly accommodating, like I've highlighted with eclipse season. Like, you got to be firm on your boundaries. Like, my schedule will not allow me to take that on. With moon square Venus, we could be a little too sweet, like, oh, it's no problem, but internally stewing with rage and vengeance because it's Scorpio season. Just being mindful of that. You have enough on your plate, truly, with the moon squaring Uranus. Your emotional levels can feel restless. You can feel all over the place. And then the moon conjoins Saturn, which is feeling this weight, this heaviness of your responsibilities, of all of the stuff that you need to do, and the lack of time to just be like, I just want to run through a meadow. Why do I have all of these emails and all of these things to attend to? It does feel like it is good if you can stay on track and stay focused, but it just feels like a weight on your heart, a weight on your spirit. And like with the Scorpio, it is the energy of the Phoenix. It is the energy around letting go. It is the energy around transformation, but that doesn't make it an easy process. There's all this fixed energy in the cosmos and fixed clings. It's the energy around maintaining, right? So it can be something you're not ready to let go of, and that could be hard. Like I said, it's a bitter pill to swallow at times, but just muscle through it, focus on this task, and this too shall pass. On Wednesday the 2nd would be a great morning to work out as the Aquarius moon trines Mars and Gemini. Get all that Scorpio vengeance out of your body physically, right? Like that's what Scorpio is about. It is the transformer. It's about taking our emotional state or our anger or anything that we're dealing with and transforming it into something else. Because we'll get into the South Node aspects in a while, but it can be this energy around screaming in a forest. Like, does anybody really hear you scream? Like, there can be this energy of fruitlessness to your effort this week. It just is part of the week's astrology, and we can't control that, but what we can control is our response to it. Rather than yelling at that person, we can go get a good workout instead. Rather than trying to control this and control this person, we can control going on a nice run and getting some energy out of our body. Like I highlighted, anger is really coming up with Mars retrograde, how it is that we deal with anger if we hold on to it. Now, I'm not saying hold on to it, right? But I'm also not saying go yell at that person. I'm saying transmute it into something. I'm so mad, I just need to bake some cookies. I'm so mad, I just need to get a workout in. I am so mad, I just need to scream into this pillow. Like, I want you to get the energy out there, but I'm just saying it's not particularly fruitful when directed at trying to rectify the situation, right? Move it through your body physically. And the moon is void from when the moon trines Mars at 4:06 a.m. until the moon enters Pisces at 11:46 a.m. So not the most productive morning. So if possible, to go into work a little bit later, get a great workout in, or if you do have to be at work, handle more mundane matters. Trust me, when the moon enters Pisces, you won't want to go near those, right? And on Wednesday, the Pisces moon kind of helps us, right? It kind of attunes us to the bigger picture around, I can't control everything, but would I want to? Like, that's what we love about Pisces energy, is that this world disappointed Pisces energy so much they went and created their own. So it's like there's no harm in withdrawing into your own world, watching a good movie, praying, meditating, connecting to your own world, because I'm telling you, this is not the time to go do the most important thing of your life. Like with eclipses, just let the cards fall where they may. Like with eclipses, with Mars retrograde, it's best to conserve your energy. But while you're conserving your energy, why not pray? Why not meditate? Why not watch a movie? Why not distract yourself from wanting imminent revenge? With the Pisces moon, allow your head to be in the clouds a little bit, right? If it helps you cope, if it allows you to find peace with just how wacky everything is, dissolve, dream, create. Bring it back to the vibe check. This is like sort of the energy where it's like, okay, this sucks. This was a ripoff. This was a bait and switch. This is not what I wanted, right? But the moon in Pisces, it's like, let's just chill a second. Let's just see in 2 days' time. Because you know when you're so riled up about something at that moment, like you're so riled up about that weird Uber that took a long route, or you're so fired up about that bartender who charged you an extra drink that you're just like so mad. See what happens if you take a step back. Like in 2 days' time, after a long hike and a long bath, you might be like, whatever, it's $19, whatever. Like life goes on. Like, I want you to kind of find that little respite for yourself while the moon's in Pisces. I know sometimes people get really frustrated with Pisces energy because we could be quite the procrastinators in that we can think that a solution is just going to fall from the sky. But what's funny is sometimes it does, okay? Like sometimes a solution does come when we take a pause, or at least we have an inner clarity around it. Like if there's an energy where you're at the supermarket and you're looking at the lemons and you're not super jazzed up, they just look kind of weird, and you're just like, I'll buy them tomorrow or something. And then later that day, your neighbor pops around with lemons and you're like, that worked out. Sometimes you just need that moment. Sometimes you just need that moment, that clarity around taking a step back and being like, you know what, that bartender charged me the extra drink, but it's not a big deal. And then all of a sudden you get a bonus that's way more than you were amounting. Sometimes there is a lot of beauty that can come when we kind of choose to just let go. Although I will say, as a Pisces myself, sometimes our procrastinating strategy doesn't always work. Like right now, I'm just waiting for a solution of my garbage disposal to fix itself. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Apparently I do need to get involved and find the part and somehow figure out how to do that. But in the meantime, I'll just wait for a solution to fall down. So I'm not saying it's always the right solution, but I am saying it's the right solution this week, okay? Take a step back. Let the chips fall where they may. Hi, love. Please do not mind the quick editor's note. Venus also hits the South Node on Wednesday. So I'm going to talk deeper about that. I write down all of the aspects and my handwriting is horrible. And I saw a scribble, but I was like, I must have just written the Sun and Mercury past the South Node, but Venus is there too. So I apologize. So just popping in via editing to let you know what's up with that. So the thing about the South Node is that it operates kind of as this vacuum. It's very muted, understated energy, which is why this week we could feel a lack of motivation, a loss of energy, which is why I'm saying pick your battles, you know, like Mars is retrograde. This is the time to be everywhere and everything. Like there's parts of us that are going to feel a little bit muted, a little drained, a little exhausted. But also the benefit of the South Node is that there can be this deep spirituality. There can be a connection to the bigger picture of it all, as well as sort of continuing the themes of last year, this call to sort of release, find closure, let go and let God is really the vibe this week. And with Venus passing the South Node, there can be certain karmic themes that are coming up within our love relationships. So reconnecting with someone that you have like a karmic deal with, there could be an energy around having to find closure of certain themes that have come up within your current relationship, even certain financial tendencies that have come up within your world with it hitting the South Node again. Think this vacuum energy, think this closure energy. So there can be energy around letting go of certain elements of Venusian themes that are not aligning with us. But I also want you to have your papers open because like I said, South Node does indicate some karmic fated themes can come up. So like I said, reconnecting with someone that you have past life experience with, or perhaps, you know, having a fated encounter with someone. Like I'm telling you, have those eyes open on Wednesday in regards to who it is that you connect with, who it is that you talk to, who it is that you meet, okay? But also who it is that you feel called to release, what it is that you feel called to release, particularly as it relates to Venusian matters, which is love, money, and beauty. Back to the magic. And Thursday is very lovely, particularly if you are someone who would identify as particularly creative or open to celestial insights or anything of that nature, because that'll be a big theme moving into this weekend because the Sun and Mercury pass the South Node, which is a very spiritual, technically calculation, but it is a very spiritual energy. And with this Pisces moon, this is also energy that's very dialed into muse, right? Dialed into spirit. And with the trine to Mercury, it's being able to intellectualize our creative downloads or inspirations. With the trine to Sun in Scorpio, we're able to transmute the emotions that we're feeling. Because keep in mind, with the Pisces moon, yes, half of us might be in our own world, just being like, la 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 la, things are a little intense, but at least I'm making my art. But also with Pisces moon, we can feel very, very emotional, be taking on a lot of stuff from people. So I just want to say, if you were on the latter side of that, around feeling very emotional, with the Pisces moon trines the Sun in Scorpio, it's this energy around transmuting it. I'm sad, but I'm making these cupcakes. I'm sad, but I'm turning into something. Like that's the biggest thing this week. Like when I talk about this energy to sit and let the cards lie, I'm not saying you literally have to sit there and just look at everything, but I'm just saying this is not the time for action. This is the time for tuning in. This is the time for channeling. This is the time for introspections. Move some energy, but being cautious with trying to be the puppeteer and control everything and everyone. Your energy is best kept towards personal, private matters that make you feel more connected and more peaceful. That's very important to prioritize this week. And the Pisces moon trines Venus in Scorpio, very helpful for creating beautiful things, for looking beautiful. And then the Pisces moon sextiles Uranus and Taurus. So just a really lovely creative day. You can't control it all, but you can control how this scarf that you're knitting turns out. So just handle that and allow that to be a reflection of the divine. Allow the story that you're writing to just move through you rather than feel like it's from you. Like this is the time to tune in and allow it to move through you. I don't know if that freaks anybody out, But seriously, with the sun and Mercury getting closer to South Node, we can find we are a little bit more open as it relates to insights, as it relates to channeling, as it relates to our intuition. So creating that conscious space to tune in. Again, you don't have to externally change your whole world, but you can create the space to drop in and create things that allow you to feel safe and settled and protected here within your private world. On Friday, I want you to be a little stingy with your energy, okay? I want you to be conscious on Friday to really fuel what it is that fills you up as a soul. And very apt for my outfit today, but truly have that moment of being like, not my circus, not my monkeys. As many of you know, I'm in San Diego, and the Padres, our baseball team, were doing very good. They're now unfortunately out of the series, but they were doing really good and we were really excited. I can't watch baseball because I get very, if it's a team I'm invested in, I get very anxious and worried. And I was like saying to my boyfriend as we were watching, I was like, I'm just so worried. I don't know if they're gonna win tomorrow. He was like, you gotta focus on your own game. Like, you're not out there on the field. You don't need to get worried for them. Like, they need to do what they need to do. You need to do what you need to do. Do you think they're worried about Haley Comet Astrology YouTube channel? And I was like, well, no. And he's like, just focus on your own game. This isn't your game to play. I was like, that's a very good point. So whether it's not my circus, not my monkeys, whether it's not my game to play, just be cautious around taking things on that are not yours, taking on emotions that do not belong to you, as the Pisces moon does conjoin Neptune at around 3:38 a.m. I do want to highlight, pay attention to your dreams. Thursday night, Friday morning. Like I said, the sun and Mercury are meeting up with the South Node. Some messages are coming through. Like, we really have access to the divine during this time, which is why I'm saying you don't need to be everywhere and do everything. You just need to be present, to tune in. It doesn't mean just sitting. You can tune in while you're walking. You can tune in while you're knitting. You can tune in while you're screaming into a pillow. But it is a more introspective energy. It's about drawing energy inward. So on Friday, be a little stingy, because the Pisces moon conjoins Neptune and then squares Mars. Squaring Mars is a little bit of an energy zapper, energy drainer, and the conjunction to Neptune, we can just be a little bit more sensitive. We can really merge into our environment. So like being on the phone with your friend, and then when you hang up, being like so worried about everything that that person's going through, which it's like, it's normal to be worried as a friend, and it's great to be a good friend who listens to what's going on, but observing where it is that you feel like you are being the pitcher in that person's game. Here I am making sports analogies. Can you believe it? Weirder things have happened on this channel, but you're not the pitcher in that person's game. Like, at the end of the day, you can support them from a side, you can cheer them on from the stands, but at the end of the day, their performance in that game is up to them. You don't need to take on their stress. You don't need to take on their anxiety. You need to focus on your game. You need to focus on your pitching or whatever. Okay, the sports analogy portion of my channel is over, okay? Do not think it's gonna happen often. And the reason I want you to be stingy with your energy is because I want you to give it to yourself, because this is the first Pisces moon since Jupiter entered Pisces. So it's feel good, it's dreamy. It's not particularly great if you have a lot to get done. Like, it definitely feels kind of distracted, head in the clouds. It's not really great for directing what it is that you want, but it can be a time to be very inspired, to feel very attuned to muse and inspiration. So I want you to have some time to explore that, to create, if you identify with someone who is creative, to be able to tune in, if you're someone who like meditates or does cards or anything of that nature, or to just feel excited, just feel connected to your why would also be a great usage of this. So I don't want you to give too much of your energy, although Pisces energy can be very heart open. Oh, you need help moving, I can take it on. Help for the causes you most want to help with, but also be willing to show up for yourself in a benevolent way, being able to tune in, fill up your spirit. This can also be very great for consuming or creating art. So if you are at work, play a good album, play some good music, dress dreamy. Like, you can still tap into this even if you have responsibilities. But if there's an option, and I want you to be a little stingy with your energy, I want you to give some of that to yourself as well. I do want to highlight, sometimes with Pisces moon, we can feel very sad. With the conjunction to Jupiter, it can feel like very big sads. And in that case, you need your energy even more so, okay? Fill up, fill up, fuel. And the moon's void at 3:05 at that point, you know? I say an early Friday off. If you can, that would be lovely. And then the moon enters Aries at 4:07, which is a burst of energy, but you might feel a little restless, want to get out of the office or at least get some new stimuli going on. On Saturday the 5th, Venus opposes Uranus. And this is the crux of the vibe check around a bait and switch. It's like I'm putting my money, my values, that's Venus and Scorpio, towards this thing, and there was something unexpected about what I got in return, right? This is not what I signed up for. Or it's like with your partner, this is not the person I signed up for. They want all of this free time all of a sudden. They're dressing weird, they're acting weird. And it's like with Venus and Scorpio, we want so deeply to control and perfect. Like, why aren't you being what I want you to be? Why is this purchase not what I wanted it to be? And sometimes, especially this weekend, the Sun and Mercury passes the South Node. Sometimes things just are how they are, and all we're doing when we're trying to control is we're wasting a lot of energy. It can be very, very frustrating, but sometimes people need the space and the grace to be able to try on different ways of being, even if it feels unfamiliar for us to relate to them in that way. Sometimes certain purchases aren't exactly what we thought that they would be. I just want to share, I feel that this is exceptionally on topic with my outfit today. But one time I was very young, I think I was 7 or 8, and we're at the circus and there was an advertisement for the world's smallest horse. And I was like, the world's smallest horse? And there was a little phrase underneath that said, you can hold him in your hand. And I was like, a horse that you could hold in your hand? I needed to get to the bottom of that. And that's like very Scorpio energy, right? We need to deep dive, we need to understand, we need to get to the bottom of it, right? When you're 8, $1 is like a lot of money to you, right? It was like you had to protect those dollars. And I was very, very stingy about my money. Like literally if I played an arcade game and lost, I would cry because I felt so horrible for wasting money. Like I was so particular about what I would invest my money into. And I was like, but the world's smallest horse? That's something I need to know about. That's something I need to get to the bottom of. And I think my mom and my sister were like, Haley, I don't know, but you know, I was younger and they knew I just needed to get to the bottom of it. I just needed to know. Pay my dollar. They take me into this tent. It was a pony at the bottom of a huge hole. So it was like, they were like, oh, you can look right here. And so I looked over and there was a pony at the bottom of the hole. Pony in a hole. And I cried. I was so upset. I like said to my mom, I was like, I need to get my money back. That is a ripoff. And like, don't get me wrong, that was a ripoff. And like that poor pony in the hole, you know, such a ripoff. But it's like, it really doesn't do a whole lot of good, you know, screaming at someone. Like I did get something from that experience. I got wisdom. I got a tough pill to swallow, right? It sucks. There are people who are scammers and deceitful. Like next time you will not catch me slipping at the circus, paying random people $1 to see the world's smallest horse. Like I did learn from that experience. So I might not have gotten the world's smallest horse, but I did get something of value out of it. And that's sort of the energy of Venus opposite Uranus squaring Saturn. It's like you didn't get what you wanted, but you got the reality check you needed, right? And you can scream at the people who are working the tent, but they probably don't want to do it and it's really not their thing and they know it's scammy, but it just kind of is what it is, right? And that's hard when the energy's in Scorpio, where we want to obsess and we want to control, but sometimes things just are what they are. I do want to say with Venus opposite Uranus, there can be unexpected spending occurring. There also can be, make sure to check your banks and things of that nature for fraudulent charges. Again, I'm not putting that out there, but I'm just saying sometimes there can be certain discrepancies when there is Venus-Uranus aspects, so important to be mindful of. And when it comes to love, kind of a looser grip. People could be behaving a little bizarrely, and with Venus and Scorpio, I need to get to the bottom of this. Are you leaving me? Why are you acting like this? Again, just let the things fall where they may. Just kind of be that witnessing around, that's interesting you're behaving like that. Let's just see how that goes for you. Let's just see. And not internalize it, because on Saturday, the Aries moon does conjoin Chiron, which is the energy around the wounded healer. It's the energy around feeling like we are personally at fault or we are not enough. Like personally, when I spent that $1 to see that pony in a hole, I felt horrible about myself. I felt so dumb. I felt so silly. And it's like if your partner wants more time away from you, you're like, is there something wrong with me? And again, it's like we're all in our own eclipse story. Like it's so important not to take things seriously this week. And that's why I'm saying this more, just a little bit more detached, observing role, as though you are watching a circus, right? Just being like, this is really up and down. There's a lot of chaos happening all around me. Let's just observe what comes to the surface. And with the moon, Chiron, just being mindful of the stories that it's activating within you. It has nothing to do with you. People are on their own journey, on their own eclipse story. Don't internalize yourself or beat yourself up if you have made any money mistakes that you're beating yourself up for, or anything in love that you're beating yourself up for. Like, just let it go. A lot of times things have nothing to do with us, okay? And keep in mind, while the moon's in Aries, it's also answering to that Mars who's retrograde. So again, like, a lot of people can be getting mad. It's like, I'm so mad that I purchased this Shrek costume and it looks like this. I thought it was gonna look like this and I need to get to the bottom and I want a refund and I'm so mad, right, in that particular moment. Or it's like your partner wants a different, even like to a micro level, a different cuisine than you guys typically eat. And it's like, what are you doing? Who are you? We never order that. What? Like, I just want you to be mindful of your impulses and reactions this weekend, because they can be a little heightened with the Aries moon, and Mars is retrograde. So we're really being asked to take a pause to see, are we responding or are we reacting? Because again, it's like there's only two types of people in the world: the ones who entertain and the ones who observe. Britney Spears lyrics, sorry, from her song Circus. But truly, normally I'm like, put on a show, be the main character. But this is the sort of week where it's like, maybe just observe the craziness from afar, okay? And just really have that check-in point before acting out, before making a scene, before making a spectacle, right? Checking in and being like, where's this anger coming from? Why am I so bothered that they're not doing what I want them to do? Like, kind of taking that moment to sort of deep dive, especially with the Sun and Mercury passing over the South Node, the 5th and the 6th, right? So it's like Sun is our ego. It's like, no, that's not right. But it's passing the South Node, so we can be asked to be a little bit more detached, a little bit more of an observer, which can be frustrating. It could be an ego punch, right? It could be an ego punch when we ordered the Shrek costume and it came all lame and we're like, ugh, the reviews look good, but maybe I didn't deep dive enough. It could be an ego punch if our partner is behaving a little strange. It could be an ego punch if the new look that we tried didn't exactly look like we imagined it to. But it's sort of the energy where it's like, just relax. There's bigger things happening right now. Just take a pause, just connect. This isn't the time to egoically feel like you need to play God and get vengeance. This is the time to just wait and see. Trust me, karma is karming, okay? Saturn's direct, eclipses are happening. Things will pay themselves out, so just conserve your energy. You need it. And Sunday the 6th in the US, Sunday the 6th is daylight savings if you do celebrate where you are in the world. Do you like daylight savings if you celebrate it? I do not. I walk every single day, and having to get my walk in before 5 p.m. I just love going for a walk after all my work is finished, but I just know I need to get up earlier and go for a walk before I start work. But I'm not a huge fan, but I know some people love it because you feel more rested, because you do get an extra hour of sleep. So let me know where you stand on that. But I will say there is energy around a pep in our step on Sunday, because the Aries moon does sextile Mars and Gemini, so it's ruler. Even though it's retrograde, we're kind of having a pep in our step. We want to adventure, we want to explore. The moon also sextiles Saturn, so we're a little bit more able to focus. If you are in midterms or anything, great studying day, particularly in the morning. Saturn's actually able to tame the restlessness of the Aries moon, kind of keep it more on track. And then if you're studying, if you're doing anything productive at all, I would definitely recommend to take a pause over after 2:30, as the moon will be void. And when the moon is void, important tasks we must avoid. And with the square to Pluto, just being mindful around getting obsessive. You know, like, you can get mad about things, whether it's somebody else's drama and you're getting mad and you want to make things right. Just take a pause, okay? Try not to get obsessive about it. The vibe does kind of chill out when the moon enters Taurus that evening at 9:15, so ending the void if you do have something important Sunday evening. But Taurus's ruler Venus then squares Saturn, so it's just like a bitter pill to swallow. It's just not feeling that loved, not feeling that valued, not feeling that beautiful, not feeling like our investment was honored, right? Like, I wanted to see the smallest horse in the world, and all I'm looking at is the pony in the hole. We were talking about it once, my sister, my mom, and I was like, what's worse than a pony in a hole? And my sister was like, paying $1 to see a pony in a hole. And that's Venus square Saturn. Like, I know a lot of us can be feeling particularly constricted as it relates to finances. There could be energies of restriction as it relates to love, beauty. There can just feel like there's not enough to go around. And again, it's a bitter pill to swallow. It's not something you need to control. It's not something you need to obsess about. You just need to be like, that's interesting. I don't feel like I got my money's worth. That's interesting. This grocery trip was insanely expensive, but I don't need to fight with the cashier about it because they didn't make the prices. Like, sometimes we need to really pick our battles most, to be able to put our energy towards what means most. And it can suck, but it's just sort of an energy where it's like, it is what it is, right? With Mars retrograde, we need to conserve our energy to put it towards what truly matters, and this too shall pass. And with the Sun and Mercury conjoining the South Node, things are more than meets the eye. I also want you to pay attention to any conversations that you have over the weekend. Just with Mercury on the South Node, there can be certain conversations that are had that kind of put an issue to bed. There also can be a kind of illumination with the Sun passing the South Node around past life themes or anything of that nature. Again, that'll just be a message for a couple of people, or reconnecting with someone from the past or someone from a past life. So just again, like I say with eclipses, have your little peepers open, just observing. That's interesting, we had that conversation today. That's interesting, I reconnect with that person. That's interesting, I bought this thing on this day. Pay attention. And I will just say this weekend is not super aligned for purchases. It just feels like with the opposition to Uranus, it's not what you thought it was. And with the square to Saturn, you feel like you didn't get your money's worth. So not a great shopping weekend, honestly. Okay, my love, so that is our week. Quite a doozy. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is I pick my battles. And I'm not saying you have to be out there battling people, but just being mindful around feeling outraged or feeling really, really angry. Like, there's nothing wrong with anger. I'm not making that wrong. But being mindful around directing it towards the wrong person, around being too kind of spiteful or vindictive, or going down this obsessive energy around, I've got to get my money back, or I've got it, like, obviously, if there's been a legitimate scam taking place, like, maybe put some energy to rectify it. But when it comes to things where it's like, I have limited time on this planet, do I really want to go down this hard, reaching out to this online boutique about this Shrek costume, right? Do I really want to yell at this person who works at the circus about the $1 that I just spent to go see this pony in the hole, right? Or should I just take the lesson for what it is and just keep it moving? Maybe someone else can benefit from the Shrek costume. Maybe someone else will benefit from my sad tale of me paying $1 to see a pony in a hole. You never know how things will continue to permeate. We are in eclipses, so things are more than meets the eye. They're karmic, they're fated. You can have more information in 6 months' time around, oh, that's why. Oh, okay, that's why. So sometimes when we are in the moment, especially, the moon is in Aries for a bit this week, we can be very angry and very triggered and be like, I need to make this right, or I need to make sure this person has their revenge. But it's like, trust me, the universe is universing, karma's karming. Sometimes our only role is to sit back and witness, and that is my advice for you this week. Pick your battles, focus your energy towards what means a lot to you, and also ensure that you create space to tune into your spirit, because this is a very spiritual week where we can get a lot of downloads. And it's not always downloads where it's like all light and fluffy. Sometimes it's a bitter pill to swallow. Sometimes it's like the Shrek costume that you bought is horrible quality. Sometimes it's like there are people in this world that will scam little girls for their $1 to go see a miniature horse. It sucks. You take the lesson, you keep it moving, you trust that the universe will reach those people if they have done harm in the way that is perfect for all involved. In the interim, conserve your energy, protect your peace, and prioritize the battles of what you most want to invest your energy towards. So my loves, my Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would so love to connect with you on just the circus that this eclipse season has been. What was your Scorpio solar eclipse like? What's going down? I want the tea. I know a lot is happening. Eclipses are very, very busy times astrologically. And do keep in mind the holiday specials are available below. It'll be active as supplies last, but most likely until the end of December unless I run out. Please let me know if you have any questions about that. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay magical.